Yeah, thanks, Tony. Again, another big challenge here this week, going on the road, playing Mississippi State. Traditionally, we've had a tough time down there, so we have to get that fixed and have great preparation this week and go on the road and get an SEC victory. It's tough to do. It's a very physical football team. Veteran offensive line, very physical on both sides of the line of scrimmage. It always starts there, and very good team, and it'll be another big challenge. As I mentioned, post game, Tennessee, we had our opportunities. Very proud of the way our team prepared, the way we competed, the way they fought. Did some really good things in that game and improved in some areas that we needed to improve in. We have to build on that now. There are always a few plays, a couple series, some things that determine close ball games. We got to find the recipe to make those plays and put them in the right position to win those type of games.
Mark, you guys lost 3 in a row in 21 and then rallied and finished really strong. What was key in getting that turned around, and are there lessons you can apply?
Yeah, I hope so. I think the big thing for us is just to continue to really focus on that improvement. You know, and there's a million ways that you get tired of hearing about, and we talk about all that, you know, doing those things, but it's true. I mean, like, for me, I look at the preparation. That we have a good plan? Was the team ready to play? Are we, you know, in a good mindset? And, you know, hopefully our team will continue that because they've been working really hard. And, you know, we need to just stay on that path.
Is there, when you watch the film, and I'm sure there's a couple of things, what's the one that's really kind of hurt you, you know, that hung with you from
in this game? I think, well, there's several things. I mean, you know, you heard me talk about it. My team has heard me talk about this many times. There could be several. You know, any one play can determine the outcome of a game. It's not always the most obvious one, and, you know, because there's plays out there as we watch the film, and there's things there. You know, so I think there's a few series in there that bother me. You know, we had a chance for a defensive stop, you know, to not let them go up 2 scores, and we let that slip away. We had 2 opportunities in the high red that we didn't get anything from, and we didn't convert the short yardage early. You know, the 3rd and short and the 4th and short. Both of those were critical as well, and me going for it. You know, but so I don't know if there's any. There's always plays. You know, I don't. There's plays, there's series that definitely, you know, kind of weigh on you, but I don't know. I hate to put it on any one thing.
Aside from the one run that popped, how did you think the team fit the run generally?
Just okay. They create some problems, as we talked about, leading up into it with how fast they go with the tempo, and, you know, they're a little more complex than you would think in the run game, and so, you know, with formation and a boundary, certain things that with the tempo, you know, we weren't always precise, you know, and it goes very fast. And it's a physical group as well. You know, with their O-line's very physical and their backs are very talented.
One of the things
did you seek any clarification from the league on the heat and catch there at the end of the first half?
I did. I turned it in. I have not heard back from them yet, and when I do, I cannot tell you. Whether it's to my liking or not, I can't, you know. There's no transparency there with the outside world, so, or I will be fined, you know, even if I say it in a calm manner. Can't do it. Can't say anything. So,
Mark, one of the points of emphasis you made was the 4 and 4 at halftime. You know, 4. Mm-hmm. Other than that play we just talked about, I thought, especially with them getting the ball to start the second half and a 3 and out, much better.
Yeah, the 3 and out was critical to start the second half. You know, that was really big. We held them to the field goal at the end of the first half there. Had an opportunity to get off the field, or, you know, possibly, but didn't happen. But, you know, better. You know, I'd like to. I don't have the drive chart here. I don't remember if we scored on the first possession of the second half or not. I don't really remember.
Coach Leary has definitely developed as a passer and has seemed to grow more confident, especially in the pocket. Going up against Mississippi State, taking his growth into consideration, how do you think his performance is going to play out on Saturday against Mississippi State?
Well, I hope that Devin builds, some confidence from this game, and as an offensive unit, for a team that was so disruptive going into it. I thought our offensive line and our group, our plan was very good as far as protection. I want to say they had 1 TFL and 1 sack, and for a group that was very disruptive. With Mississippi State, you think about them defensively and you think of it the same way. Very disruptive guys, bringing a lot of different pressures. And in a hostile environment, we have to do a great job of making sure we have a great plan, protect him first. I'd like to see us have more balance than we did in this past game. For us to be successful, and you've heard me talk about it for so long, here's a game where Devin throws for 375 yards, but we don't rush the ball effectively and didn't win the game. Where Tennessee ran the ball effectively and the outcome was on their side. So I think you have to, whether it's perfect or, whether you always have to be above in the run yardage, I'm not saying that, but we have to have an identity and be physical and have that balance, and we didn't have it this past Saturday. So hopefully we'll continue with the protection. We'll build on some of the pass game. I was very pleased with the unit, with the plan, with the receivers competing, with the receivers making competitive catches and helping the quarterback, and I thought Devin played a good game.
Mark, because did Tennessee, they looked like their defensive philosophy was, we're not going to let you beat us in the run game, we're going to make you beat us through the air. How difficult is it to run when they're stacking the box?
Yeah, they're stacking the box. They're physical guys. They're disruptive up front, and we knew that going into it. There are things we could do better. There are areas where we weren't as good as we've been, and we need to do a better job there. Even as we talked about before, maybe there's some holes where there's 3-4 as opposed to 0. Those are some little things that you don't always see. There's some areas to improve in the run game.
It's hard to see because the TV tape doesn't show you what's happening downfield. Mm-hmm. Were the receivers doing anything different this week than maybe some previous weeks? Were they more open?
I just think the work that you've heard me talk about for 3 weeks now about really just getting on the same page in practice and the receivers working hard at the line of scrimmage, being some confidence with the quarterback and receivers that they're going to, get open. And I thought Devin threw gave him some opportunities as well. It's just like Barry On's 50-50. He gave him a good chance to go get that football. Other times, Dane made, some good moves at the line of scrimmage, got open. We had the protection. So it just was clicking as far as protect. I'd say it starts with the protection, and then the receivers have been working really hard, and I'd like to see them to continue on that path, and you'll see an improvement from our offense.
Going off that, how important from a confidence perspective was it to get 8? I think it was 8 guys caught passes because so many different guys involved.
I think it's really important, and we got more plays. And with that, you're going to see guys get touches. How many times have we talked about that? It starts with getting first downs, and I want to say it was tied in that game, and you're playing a Tennessee offense that is hard to stop, and they had 24 first downs. If I'm not mistaken, we had 24. We were dead even. So, for us, 24 first downs, you're going to get plays, and you're going to get guys getting touches, you're going to get yards, and all those things. I just, as I mentioned, you put a little more balance in there, and, you're really doing some good things.
Mark, other than the fact Mississippi State has had good teams, what has made Starkville such a tough venue?
Well, I just think, it's another SEC team on the road. I mean, how many times, you cover us, and I see you there in your same spot every week, but if you listen to every SEC coach, it's probably about the first thing they're going to say. Going on the road and winning in these venues is not easy, so, we had a great atmosphere here this past Saturday. I wish it could have delivered the victory for such a great crowd, but it was a great atmosphere, and it was a tough place to play, and that's what we need. And Starkville's the same. They have a passionate fan base. They have a team that's always long, physical, play very hard, and it's a hostile environment. So, so we'll have our hands full, but that's what you have to prepare for.
Mike Wright is, you saw him last year, and then maybe prior to. So is he any different than the quarterback you saw a year ago here at Coachville?
No, I think he's, a guy that is in obviously a different system, but, with a guy like Mike, he's the type of guy that obviously can hurt you at any given time with his legs, whether it's on schedule with design quarterback run or reads, and then, just, pulling it down and scrambling, can create plays as well. It's a guy you have to keep in the pocket. He's a guy much like last year and this year. You see signs, of down the field passing in his passing. He definitely can throw the ball, and they're building on that. And they always have some playmakers at wide receiver as well. So he's growing. I think you're seeing their offense grow with him under center. I'm not sure if it's for sure 100% going to be Mike or if it'll be Will. Very different players. Obviously, we have to be ready for all of it.
Mark, you were talking about going on the road and how tough it is.
Mm-hmm.
I've been just about every one of them. But is it what makes Mississippi so unique? Is cowbell plays that at all?
You're not going to get me this time. It's just, it's just a tough environment. It's just a tough environment. Give them credit. We've always had good games with them. They're always tough, physical games, and it's just one of those games. A team that we play every year that we know each other pretty well and know the personnel, and I have a lot of respect for them. They're a tough group.
To go back to Brian, you talked about those off-schedule throws. It felt like that's where most of Milton's success was just the kind of play breaks down and then turns nothing into something. So, is there anything in particular you can do to combat that, other than don't let the
I thought we were better in that. Outside of the one, we on the one that Milton hurt us when he got outside there and threw it, and we dove for it. Number one, we were plastering to him. We have to get him down. We can't go for a PBU and let it turn into a whatever it was, 45-yard gain instead of a 10-yard gain or 12-yard gain. I think that's number one. You can never go for the ball unless you're going to get the tackle, especially in the middle of the field. If that's one I remember right at the top of my head. There probably were others, but I thought we did a decent job of keeping the quarterback like him, in the pocket. They did a nice job. We brought pressure on 1/3 down and got him, sacked him, and then the next time they hit the back with a nice play and leaked them out on us, and we're anticipating some pressure. So they is there any one thing? I think you got to plaster. You got to keep them in the pocket. We got to be very aware of staying with our men at all times, because those type of guys get by all kind of time.
It looked like there were a number of Milton's dropbacks. He wanted to go deep, but the back end of the secondary covered pretty well on a lot of those outside of a couple of explosive.
Better, yeah.
Of the front seven needing to get to the quarterback, how much of an emphasis is that for Brad and that unit?
Well, it's always an emphasis. I think anytime, you want to try to disrupt the quarterback. I think if you're talking this week or last week. Last week, I mean, a guy like them, they keep you so off balance with their run game. That you have to be so dialed in and precise and tight. And then obviously when it converts to pass, you got to go. They have different variations as well, like everybody. It's a quick game, or there's some drop back shots, and for the most part, I thought we did a decent job in the pass game. We let them get the one, a big one. We let the scramble hurt us. Certain plays. This week, again, two different quarterbacks, very different. With Will, he's a guy that has seen everything. He's seen pressure. He's seen it all. He's seen a million different coverages. And with Mike, it's very different and different challenge, because there's so much eye candy going on and so much in their run game that you have to be very precise in your run fits, and then you have to commit a lot with a quarterback that can run the ball, and then he can also hurt you down the field. So, different obstacles there as far as the quarterbacks.
Coach, this is your guys' first time since Zach took over as an official head coach there. How different is it preparing, with him? I know he's been there a while, but the offense is different. So what's that like preparing?
Yeah, I just think, just like you said, I mean, preparing, we know what to expect going down there. Defensively, much the same, very disruptive, very physical. Offensively, it always starts with the offensive line, and their offensive line is really an experienced group. I think they have 5 seniors, if I'm not mistaken, and they have a backup or 2 that play that are big and strong with a lot of reps. They have a lot of reps under their belt at offensive line, so that's a good place for them to start. It is very different. I think you know that. I mean, anytime you take a guy like Mike Leach out of the equation, it's going to be different. You know, offensively, it's just a different philosophy, different style, but equally as challenging, just in a different way.
Chance to watch Will Levis play by chance yesterday?
You know, Liam and I were in there in the offensive staff room watching, and we have a TV behind us. So when he was playing and doing well, we turned it on, and whenever they were on offense, we were watching that game. When they were on defense, we were going back this way. So we were just very proud of them. Yeah, just what a great performance. It was a lot of fun, and you know, everybody in the office was rooting for him.
Can that do something to the program, just have him not only in the NFL but succeed as you all?
Yeah, I don't think it, you know, I can't see how it can hurt. You know, it's a guy like that. And he looked so good back there, looked comfortable, you know, and just like we thought. And I think he's in a great place, and he's going to do very well. We're very proud of him.
Did you talk to him yet, Coach?
No, I just text, and he hit me back with the text. So I know how that goes. Right? You get 2,001 texts when you win, and you don't get very many when you lose.
How's the morale of the
Yeah.
team right now?
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. You know, it is what it is. I mean, it's tough. I mean, they're going to be, you know, they're hurting and beat up and bruised, you know, physically and emotionally, but you get right back at it and get back to work. And I think, you know, I hope that they take pride in that preparation, and I think take pride in a lot of ways that it carries over. And, you know, where we fell short, let's get to work on that.
Mark, it's forced some young guys to play in that secondary due to some injuries, some sort of pressure for Ty Brown. How do you feel like those young guys are doing when they're having to step in?
Well, Ty stepped in and played fantastic against a team like that with how fast they go, and the way he played. He was our defensive player of the week, you know, and he had a lot of good plays. He had a bunch of production for us, and how we keep tallies on production points. You know, he had a lot of production. Did a very good job, so very pleased with him.
Mark, defensively, obviously you picked three really good offenses the last 3 weeks. Is it more just the offense was really good, or do you feel like your defense can play better?
There's always a little of both. You know, the challenges that you go up against each week. We could definitely play better, and I expect this group will. So, you know, we just got to analyze and look at all areas, and, you know, again, why are we falling short? Is it personnel? Is it coaching? Is it, you know, position? And you know, look at every aspect and try to improve on it. This group has always played with a lot of pride, and I expect them to want to bounce back.
Mark, are you concerned about Kenneth or Jordan being like long-term situations?
We'll see.